Let me get some more of this jet juice, you filthy cocksucker.
The bartender annoyed but complying reluctantly. Knowing full well the connections this particular person has within hut space, avoiding the possibility of getting unwanted harassments from thugs and hut enforcers, the bartender reaches over with the aged liquor of beverage known as jet juice, an alcoholic refreshment that is also known as engine room hooch, an intoxicant that is typically brewed by spacers who are mid-transit traveling between star systems. It's a relatively makeshift attempt to ferment alcohol on the fly and is quickly distilled to provide a sufficient percentage for spice runners to pass the time without indulging in the supply they are transporting. At the entrance of the cantina, Isaac Alik and the monstrous 8-foot-tall Dashad, Kem Val, make their way into the establishment. Isaac eyeing the bartender and recollecting the last visit, he wonders if the man will have any attitude considering the obvious display of authority and power the Mirialan Sith acolyte displayed only hours earlier. The rotund man behind the counter visibly flinches when noticing Isaac at the door and attempts to walk off casually, trying not to give off the impression of having distinguished the young Sith at the cantina. Chuckling, Isaac pays no mind to the obvious discomfort of the man he threatened before and starts to look for the contact the huts informed him about. At the center of the bar, he can see a husky man with a dark brown trench coat chugging down beverages as if it were water. Even from the side profile, he can make out this is the man that will inform him about the Republic operatives in this sector of space. Approaching with a stoic and authoritative stride, Isaac approaches the intoxicated man at the bar alongside Kem Val.
Looks like you're a heavy drinker.
The young Mirialan gesturing towards the dozen empty glasses at the bar, whilst the paunchy man downs another full glass of alcohol.
Oh, this is light work. You should see me at the end of the week.
Right. Well, some members of the Hut clan informed.
Hold on, let me take this bump of spice real quick.
The man in the trench coat pulling out a small plastic bag no bigger than his thumb and carefully pours a small pile of brown powder on his wrist. Snorting the entire portion he had served for himself, he goes on to look at Isaac to ask in a daze of confusion.
The fuck were we talking about?
Kem Val, looking as if he's going to step forward to beat the man senselessly for showing disrespect to a Sith, Isaac waves him off as to not be bothered.
Two Huts, Kiltaka and Yiban, informed me that you could provide some information as to the whereabouts of Republic agents lurking within this sector.
I know where one of them is, but it's gonna cost you some credits.
Name your price, and we'll see if you're reasonable.
20,000 credits sounds about right. Not too much for a big shot to pay for.
Somewhat taken aback from the price of the information, Isaac goes on to haggle with the intoxicated man in the assumption that the negotiations will be easier now that the man is clearly inebriated.
How about I give you 10,000 credits for now, and then I will give you the other half if the information is good.
No can do, my friend. You have to pay me my credits up front for the best info.
Even though he had witnessed it with his own eyes, the green-skinned Mirialan is surprised to see the portly human man suddenly act completely sober, despite the obvious evidence of copious amounts of substances that this person must have indulged in. The change in demeanor threw Isaac off, as the man looks right to his face when not budging at all with the set price. Pondering for a few seconds to see if he should negotiate further to lower the price, he dismisses the idea since this person was personally recommended by the Huts. If he doesn't adequately provide sufficient details when given the 20,000 credits, he can simply just be killed or forcibly probed for information using the Force.
Here is your 20,000 credits. What do you got for me?
With a covetous expression, the stout man grabs the credits and stuffs them into a raggedy dark brown bag made of cloth. Pulling out the same plastic bag filled with the light brown powder, the heavy-set human male carefully pours out a single 2-inch line of the substance on the countertop and begins to pinch one of his nostrils to snort his serving with the open one.
Ah, that's some good stuff.
From Nibulao, Matita White.
It's hard to understand you, my young acolyte, but I sense your rising ire.
Eyeing the large 8-foot-tall monstrous Dashad from head to toe, the human male goes to ask,
What did the lil bro say? He is a big boy, but nothing compared to me. I'm a big nigga.
Don't worry about him. He works for me. Nothing for you to be concerned about. Now, on to what you were saying about the Republic agent.
Ah, right. On the planet of Duhuta, there is this guy who deals with certain Hutt clans to smuggle spice into Republic space. Primarily Yaladai spice. And I've heard rumors that he is delivering personal shipments to some Jedi.
With his interest piqued, Isaac pries for further information regarding the Jedi involvement.
Is this Republic agent force sensitive by any chance?
You mean that magic shit those wizards do? Beats me. But I heard he is carrying a really nasty disruptor rifle. That nasty fucker is capable of disintegrating flesh quicker than a Twi'lek dancer can suck the skin off my one-eyed Dianoga, if you catch my meaning.
Why are the Jedi so interested in that particular kind of spice? To my knowledge, they don't partake in substance abuse.
Do you know what Yaladai spice is, my nigga? It's a drug that enhances the ability of those who wield the Force. From what I have heard, it boosts their ability whenever they do their magic powers.
Something seems a little off here. Is there anything else you know about those operations and which particular Jedi are involved?
I know where they do the hyperspace jumps and pickups, but that whole Jedi thing is a rumor, so I can't help you with that one.
Does this Republic agent have a name, and do you have a hollow image of what he looks like?
I sure do, my friend.
Pulling out a palm-sized hollow communicator, he displays a rotating holographic image of the person in question.
The guy's name is Joe Rogan. Mid-40s, human, and last I checked, he works alone. I heard he used to be quite the martial artist back in the day, but he has recently gotten into taking a fuckload of crazy psychedelics.
Do you know where he is right now?
Shrugging, the paunchy man nonchalantly answers after taking another sip of an amber-colored alcoholic drink from the counter.
He's got 3 safe houses and 2 storage warehouses where some of the spice is processed. He could be at any one of those. Baldbro also has a starship he regularly uses to lay low if there's too much heat on him.
The holographic image changes to that of a ship that resembles a Firaxan shark, tilted on its side. The main body was centered with a cockpit and ion thrusters at the rear, with a large, thin fin-like structure protruding on its side, and 2 smaller fins extending outward in either direction from the main body.
I've never seen a ship like this before. All I've heard is it's a prototype. So don't ask me who made it.
Do you know where he keeps it docked mostly?
Not really. Some of my boys told me that he keeps moving the thing around so it never gets stolen. Maybe if you do some really good scans within the system, you could possibly find out where he is. But I'm not sure what kind of stealth tech that shit has.
Thoroughly impressed by the extensive amount of information, Isaac gives the man a proposition.
I've taken control of Hutt operations here in this sector after killing Nemro. I could use a man of your talents to manage things here whenever I'm not in this part of the galaxy.
Quirking an eyebrow, the large man chugs another glass of jet juice and pours the rest of the brown powder that was in the small plastic bag he showcased before onto the counter. Sniffing the rest of the large quantity, he turns back to Isaac.
Well, how much are you paying?
What do you think you're worth?
I'm worth the world. No, I'm worth the galaxy, motherfucker. The name is Joey Diaz. Don't get it twisted. Ask anyone around here and they'll tell you I'm the guy you go to for anything. Spice, women, connections. Maybe some killings if I'm in the mood.
How about 100,000 credits a year for your services?
100 G's. I wipe my ass with that kind of money. You gotta offer something more real. If you want me to manage those slugs that smell like my mother's ass cheeks after a hot day.
1 million a year could be a good starting point, but I think we'll save these discussions until after I've dealt with Rogan.
All right, I'll be waiting. Here's my comm frequency. Reach out to me if you need anything.
Walking away after receiving communication information from Joey, Isaac exits out the cantina with Kem, and the Dashad says a few things with a concerned look on his face.
Ripanay Sintaino, Usa Banja Frauja, Boa Mainon Anafilans.
I'm still having a hard time understanding you, my morose monster, but I think you're worried if he was trustworthy or not.
Reaching out with the Force, he attempts to pierce the mind of the informant from afar to see if there was any form of deceit. A whole host of images involving adultery of numerous kinds with female Twi'leks and humans, alongside intense thoughts of large amounts of narcotics. Appalled from the level of debauchery, he almost recoils back until he spots a particular image of a female woman in dark armor wielding a red lightsaber holding onto the tongue of a detached Hutt head. Confused and intrigued, he tries to delve deep into the mind of the man, but is immediately pushed back by an invisible force. More baffled than ever, he tries to make sense of it all, but shelves this matter to the side for a later time. Turning back to Kem, Isaac goes on to ask,
Are you ready to kill a Republic puppet, my hungry beast?
Sunaus taus.